Hey everyone, so I think it's really about time I get to focusing on this YouTube channel and adding a lot of content out there, free content, helping people as much as I can. And the reason I haven't been up to this point is because I've been so distracted, so focused on my own trading. And how can I focus on my own trading, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, the course, and so many other things at once? So my priority now is to focus solely on 10-bagger stocks. My focus is 10-bagger stocks and educating people about stocks, providing the best stock course available, having a great YouTube channel, educating people about technical analysis and stocks and doing market breakdowns and providing a lot more information and a lot more. So that's my goal now. And I'm just going to say this now. My future plan is I want to have my own stock on the market, 10-bagger stocks. I'm going to have under the ticker BAGR. That is my plan. I'm not saying this is going to happen for sure. Nothing is set in stone, but I'm putting it out there for the universe to hopefully deliver on that. So we'll talk about more about that in the future. So let's start over here with a market breakdown. And I intend on doing these market breakdowns on the regular basis to help you guys out, understand what's going on in the market with crypto, with stocks, and more. So first, we're going to start taking a look at the Nasdaq. We take a look at the Nasdaq over here, and it appears that the bulls are in control. We got the double bottom over here, and we're looking at the daily chart. We got the double bottom on the daily chart. You have high volume at the lows, which signals a lot of people panic sold around here, and a lot of people went short around here, and a lot of big money went long. So what happens is in this scenario is that since a lot of people went short, they're sitting in the red, and now this is a support area because those guys want to cash out, break even on their puts, on their shorts and whatnot. And then there's also people who sold that they're getting FOMO now, watching it go back up, and they would love to get back in at the price that they sold around. And there's also big money and people that bought in that they're now comfortably sitting in the green. So this has become a big support area now. So not only do you have high volume down there, and then a reversal, which signals a big support area, but you also have the double bottom, and you go back, and this is a clear support area from time. Okay, we broke it this time, but we went back above it, but this is a clear support area from time, and you can draw a line right across, and how many times did we bounce around this area with the exception of this time where we broke down? So this is a very clear support area on the Nasdaq, and a break of that area would be significantly bearish in my opinion, but right now it doesn't appear to be the case. The bulls appear to be in control. Mind you, there is something to keep in mind here. We broke the highs over here, so it wasn't a double top, but we broke the highs, we consolidated around that area, and then we flushed down. So it was pretty much a fake out above the all-time highs up here. And now this area, this price area over here is definitely a critical resistance, whereas down here is the critical support. And as you can see, the low of this consolidation area is acting as a resistance right now. You see, we're tapping that. Once it broke, it retested that area. It acted as a resistance, retesting that area again. It's a resistance once again. If we break this area bullish, we could be set up to look at all-time highs. If we reject again, that could be a bearish signal. So right now, the bulls are fighting with this resistance. The bears are trying to keep it below this resistance area, and that's why we got this 4 days price action. We're not doing too much. We've got several inside bars. So we have this bar, and the next 3 days are trading within the range of this 1 day over here, and a break of this range would likely signal the direction. So if we broke upwards out of this range, likely to signal further upside, a test of the all-time highs. And if we broke downwards out of this range, it will likely signal a retest of probably the 50-day moving average at least, which is the yellow line, and then the 100-day, which is the orange line. And if we broke that, then we would look at the 150-day, which is the light purple line. So that's what we're looking at right now on the Nasdaq. The weekly looks bullish overall. We still have a higher low on the weekly as well, and bulls are pushing. They're holding the middle Bollinger Band on the weekly. The bulls want to push and push to all-time highs over here. Bulls been holding this middle Bollinger Band on the weekly since just after the coronavirus dump. You can see we've tested it several times. Now, when stocks trade in the upper Bollinger Bands, especially on the weekly chart, that tends to signal they are still in an overall longer-term uptrend. So the Nasdaq is still in an overall longer-term uptrend. The bears are obviously looking to change that, but right now the bulls appear to still have control. Now we're getting a lot of sideways trading here. You can see the futures flat. The market is indecisive. The market is unsure right now which direction to go. A break of this range should signal that next move. Okay. What else should we take a look at here? AMC. AMC was a huge explosive move today. Huge volume, 705 million shares. The question is, can we get even higher volume tomorrow? Typically, I would look at this and I would say it's due for a decline because you have that big upper wick of profit taking. You have a really high volume spike. It would be way above the 4-day moving average and all the moving averages and way above the upper Bollinger Band. It's overbought on the RSI. It's just way overextended. And now we're getting close to that all-time high resistance up here, which definitely is a very critical resistance area that the bulls would love to break. But sometimes you do break these areas and then it ends up being a fake out, and that's the time that people take profits because it sucks those last people onto the ship on that break, thinking it's a blue sky breakout. And that's when smart money says, okay, I'm already up 1,000% plus, who knows what. Time to cash out to the people who bought on the break of the all-time highs and the people who got squeezed. So we'll see what happens there, but clearly it requires a lot of money for this to continue going up. So when people say $1,000 a share and stuff like that, it seems a little ridiculous. I have my doubts. I mean, anything is possible, but I have my doubts just because look how much money it requires to keep this thing going up. 705 million shares. Let's look at that in dollar terms. 705 million multiplied by an average of what? Let's say probably traded at an average of about $24 today. I mean, we're looking at nearly $17 billion or so traded hands today in AMC. The company is not even worth that much. It's only worth, I think, around $10 billion, and yet around $17 billion traded hands in the stock within a day. So a lot of money needs to keep funneling in to push this higher. So is it possible? Absolutely. But I would exercise some caution anyways on that note. But anything is possible. So bulls are looking at that all-time high resistance up here. $30 psychological was resistance today. It stopped just short at $29.76. Clearly, a lot of people were looking to sell at that psychological $30 area. GME looks like a bull flag on the monthly, which is just insane. I was thinking before this is like a big cup and handle. This could run a lot more. GME's got more room to run than AMC right now, as AMC is way overextended, where GME is not as extended as AMC. You've got the weekly upper Bollinger Band up here. It's at $302. So there's still room to the upside. The next resistances are at $283 over here and at $348 over here. And then the all-time high at $483. The monthly Bollinger Band should now act as a support. It was acting as a resistance this morning, 248. It kept tapping around that area and pulling back. Clearly, some people were looking to sell at that upper Bollinger Band today, but now it's pushing through, holding above. We'll see how it goes tomorrow, but right now it looks like GME may be due for a further move to the upside. It is overextended as well, but not nearly as much as AMC, and it does have more room to push to the upside, and you don't got that huge volume spike either yet. So it still seems to be picking up. BlackBerry as well. Big volume spike on BlackBerry, but as you can see, go back, it got a lot higher before. So it's very possible it does pick up a lot again on BlackBerry, push it a lot higher. Normally I would look at this and say it's overextended. There's a big volume spike due for a pullback a bit too far from the red line moving average. You have the 100-day moving average orange line as resistance. You go on the weekly, you have the weekly middle Bollinger Band as resistance. Normally this would be time to be cautious. But these stocks, these meme stocks, are going absolutely bonkers, and seems like anything is possible in these stocks. But it did break the lower high monthly pattern, and that was a good signal to buy because it had a lower high 1, 2, 3, 4 months in a row, had a lower high, and this month it broke the high of last month. So that's a bullish signal. So if we look to the upper monthly Bollinger Band, we're looking at $11.48 American, and we're looking at $14.37 Canadian. So BlackBerry appears to have more room to run as well, but it's hitting some resistances around this area, so be a little bit cautious. And you're also going to want to keep an eye on what the Nasdaq's doing. Now, is it possible the Nasdaq dumps and these stocks still fly? Absolutely. Maybe people are selling their other stocks so they can go all in AMC, GME, and BlackBerry. That might be what's happening. We'll take a look at Tesla. Tesla bulls are really trying for this double bottom over here. So far, so good. On the weekly, the bulls are holding that double bottom. They're holding the 50-week moving average, which is the yellow line, which was a big support on the dump a long time ago, last March. Bounced right off of it. We're doing it once again over here. Could potentially be a double bottom, and it could be headed a lot higher. I have a biased opinion. I don't really think so. I think it's way too overpriced, but anything is possible with this stock and with the stock market. So this could be the double bottom, and it could be headed higher. This is going to be a key resistance up here around $780, which is still a ways away. Okay, we also have what was a previous support area, this light purple line. It bounced off of it 1, 2, the third time, and then it broke. So this is going to be a critical resistance area because it was a critical support area before. And when a support breaks, it tends to become a resistance area. So now we are looking at that area as a potential next resistance, $658. We'll see how it goes from there. NEO flows along with Tesla. Whatever's Tesla's doing, NEO's likely to be doing something similar. So when you're trading one, look at both of them because they both tend to move hand in hand. We look at Bitcoin. Still looking weak overall. Bitcoin, I saw it up here, and this was a clear rising wedge on Bitcoin. And that was the first real sell signal on Bitcoin right here, was the rising wedge. And it kept making higher highs, but not that much higher. So that suggested significant resistance around this area. Once it broke that triangle bearish, that was the start of a big bear trend over there. The bulls tried to move up, retest that area. They couldn't even make it there before they dumped. There was a fake out here. Looked like it was making a higher high. It did. Faked bulls out and then just dumped from there. Now, we have that big volume spike on the bottom, right around the 30,000 area was the low, psychological 30,000. If you look back, that was a critical support area before. So that's why that area was now a big support area once again, and it did a big bounce off of that area because before it was a big support. So then bulls had their double bottom. They're trying to form a new high. $42,000 area is a critical resistance, 42,500, because that was also a critical support level. 43,000 bounced off of it here, bounced off of it here initially, kept bouncing off of that area. Again, when support breaks, it tends to become a resistance area. So that's what's happening here. Bulls really want to get that push to a higher high right now. We're starting to trade under the 4-day moving average once again, the red line. So that could be a bearish signal right now. And we'll see how it goes. The 200-day moving average is a resistance. You see it rejected it a few times. That's pretty critical. We had a bearish death cross over here. And also just look at over here how it kept trading below the red line. And this is on the daily chart. The red line is the 4-day moving average. Simple moving average. it kept closing below that red line since May 10, and it didn't close above that red line until May 24. It kept acting as resistance. Then it tried to regain it for a few days, starting to break back below again. I would exercise caution. On the 4-hour chart, looks like a bearish head and shoulders over here that we're looking at. Potential bearish head and shoulders. Bulls really want to hold this support. That's absolutely critical. That's in the low 37,000s. That's absolutely critical for the bulls. If this breaks, we could see a further flush to the downside. If the bulls are able to hold this and start pushing up, we could see a break of that resistance and a return to an uptrend. So right now, market's indecisive. That's why we got this sideways trading. Market's trying to decide the next move. A break of this trading range should decide the trend. And we'd be looking at something very similar on Ethereum, but Ethereum appears to be a lot stronger. It had a fake out to the downside, big lower wick of buying the dip, double big volume bars at the lows. Okay, you look on the weekly chart and it still held its weekly low. It still held its weekly higher low pattern, whereas Bitcoin did not. It broke the weekly low, broke the weekly support, but Ethereum held it. So Ethereum is a lot stronger than Bitcoin. It's trading right around the 50-day moving average, whereas Bitcoin is way below the 50-day moving average. Ethereum doesn't have a death cross. So Ethereum appears to be a lot stronger than Bitcoin. I'm not going to get into all of them. I think I'm going to leave that for the day. It's a long video already. I appreciate you guys watching. I intend on releasing a lot more videos soon, a lot more content coming. Check out the course. Please subscribe. And the course is on sale now. It's not going to be on sale for too much longer, maybe another week until I raise the price, and it's a lot more regularly. And I may not do a sale again for a while. So check it out if you're interested in learning a lot more about technical analysis. The course is there. There's also a lot more in the course about ETFs and dividends and market makers and indexes and manipulation and different strategies and long-term and day trading and all kinds of stuff in there. So check it out if you want to learn more. And otherwise, I'll be releasing this free content on YouTube as well for you to check out. Thank you for watching. Appreciate